Welcome to my channel. My name is Shoshana and I am a guide to life. I help guide through the spiritual awakening and life-changing events and processes. And I would like to talk a little bit about what is channeling and how to channel messages. And we are all channels, every single one of us. We are connected to divine source. There is a life force flowing through us, giving us life. We are all connected to the one. Therefore, each and every one of us are channeling different aspects of the divine through us. Each and every one of us have our own individual purpose and our own individual, you could say, part of God that is flowing through us that wants to receive expression through us. And so if the question is, do I channel, do I not channel? We all channel. You channel. You are everything that you speak, you are channeling through you. Now you could see this avatar as a filter, right? Because you are conceiving the world in a certain way. You're conceiving it. You are not responsible for the conceiving. Your higher self is conceiving. You inside of your avatar, inside of your ego self, which is the self that you were given, it's divine, is divine in its essence. It is the self that was given to you to go through this lifetime and have this life experience and to be able to create expansion for the all, for God, for the divine intelligence of all that is. We are here to expand. You have in this avatar, within this avatar, you have the possibility to hold memory. That means you hold past, you hold future, right? Future thoughts. So you have creation. You can come. You are a multi-dimensional being. You are connected to higher realms, but you're also connected to the finite because this body is finite. You are part of this realm. Part of you is part of this realm, and other parts are parts of different realms because you are multidimensional. And so this life experience, this is where it all plays out on this plane. It's where your life experience, where you get the opportunity, the divine, as a privilege of this experience, this life experience within this avatar. This avatar is the only one makeup that ever was, that ever will be in this form. You are coming through this one of a lifetime, one chance ever in infinites. And so make it all you can make it. And so the question is, if you are channeling, you are channeling. And how do you allow yourself to bring that forth? You have to be able to take hold of the reins of your avatar. That means, first of all, don't think that it's you, because the sense of I is the false sense. It is the ego. And the ego is here to serve you. It is your servant. Your ego is a wonderful servant, but a horrible boss. Your ego is also the disconnect between you and your higher self, God. It is the perception that I am individual and I am separate from all that is and everyone else in the world. Nowadays, the world is ego run. It is run by the perception that I am separate, that everybody is a separate entity. Because your higher self knows that you are a part of this infinite intelligence, everything that ever is and everything that ever was, and it can't be different because every cell in your body was something else in a different form. Ooh, that's hot. I'll show you. I should get it off the table if it's so hot. So, incense. I have frankincense. I'll put it over here on something in the meantime. And so frankincense purifies. It's also one of the gifts that the wise men brought to Yeshua's birth. So So if the question is if you are channeling all the time. Everything that is flowing through you, your life force is of divine essence. So even everything that you speak is channeled. That's why our words are magic. Abracadabra, which means in Hebrew, it means evra abra, like I will create, cadabra, like as I speak. I will create what I speak of. That's why our words, the choice of words that we have are so important. James Allen, a book that James Allen wrote, I think in 1906, As a Man Thinketh. And it is such a beautiful, it's a really short book. You can get it on audiobook on YouTube. It's in public domain. And he speaks of whatever is in your thought is what is in your speech. Whatever you think is what you are made of. And so something that I always say is that when you purify your mind, you don't have to watch your words, because your words will express a purified mind. If your mind is tainted, that only then do you really need to watch your words. But just it's vice versa as well. Because if you are watching your words, you will find the places in your mind that are not yet purified. Because if you say something, you will always say things according to the perspective that you are living your life. It cannot be different. Even if you are trying to put on a face, there's only so far that you can pull yourself out of your perspective that you are in. You can't really fake who you are or the way that you think, because your perspective will always be apparent in what you say. So if you are saying something, if you are seeing in your neighbors something negative and saying about them something negative, that means that you are living in a perspective that those things exist in your world. That means that is the way that your mind works. Otherwise, you wouldn't see that in your neighbor. You would see other things in your neighbor. It's so obvious. And so when you purify your mind, your words will automatically be purified. And when you purify your words, you can purify your mind through your words. So if you watch every single word that you say, and always say it in the positive tense, right? Because there's a huge difference. But you can say that what seemingly seems like the same thing, but you can say it in a way of lack, or you can say it in a way of positivity, right? You could say, I hate going to sleep early, which is negative. It doesn't feel good. Or you could say, I like staying up late because I enjoy my life. They feel completely different. It's basically saying the same thing. That's really not the greatest example, but it's what I could come up with right now, just to show the two aspects where you're basically saying the same thing to a uneducated mind, or a mind that isn't tuned into that fine tuning, wouldn't notice the difference between the two. But one makes you feel crappy and one makes you feel light. It's just like people, right? So you could have people in your life where one person makes you feel crappy and brings you down, whereas another person lifts you up and makes you feel good. And so it's a following your emotion kind of thing, which there's also to say about that, because your emotions are dependent on your perspective, which is dependent on your belief system. So all of those things have to be purified at once, because sometimes if you're following your emotion may be off because your perspective is off, because your belief system is off. So all of those things they purify full through. And when you purify your mind and you become a complete clean slate as the day that you were born, and you purify your emotions and you align your thought, action, and emotion to the divine source, you cannot align those without aligning yourself to God, to cause and effect, because you cannot align them out of sync with the world. You will keep butting heads with the world. You will not find that serenity. You will not be able to find that point of let go if you're holding yourself away from divine intelligence. If you're holding yourself out of sync, I mean, it's just obvious. If you are out of sync with cause and effect, you are going to continuously, it's going to be continuously, you're going to have to be holding and proving that point again and again and again. And if it's false, you're always going to have to be searching how to prove it again and again and again. Whereas truth stands on two legs. Truth is defined. It's like a pillar. When you find an absolute, and I know that a lot of you in your mind is going, well, there is no absolute truth. Truth is relevant, and well, there's something to that. You know, different people have different truths, but that is when you get further away from the one, because there is an absolute in the unit. There is an absolute, which is God, and then everything. There are lesser truths. There are, did you move that from the table or did you not move it from the table? And my perspective is you moved it, and in their perspective you didn't. Or what is right and wrong, and there's you get all up in the like knots, tangles. Whereas what I'm talking about is finding that pure alignment where you do not have dependency and you're not trying to manipulate the outcome to serve what you want. So when you are completely let go and allow, and in allowance, then everything is in flow and you are in flow with everything. And that is when you purify your mind, that is when whatever flows through you is aligned with the divine. And then your purest essence, whatever message that you have come to give to the world, will be allowed to flow through you. So whatever you are inclined to do, and the more you purify yourself and your thoughts and all the have tos, and society told me that I have to be a lawyer, or I have to be a doctor, I have to be this, I have to do that, I have to make this, and you quiet all that noise. All you will be left with is the pure essence of who you are, and whatever naturally flows through you, which could be your sense of humor, which could be the art that you do, which could be the way that you are, which brings a certain aspect of God through you, which enlightens others, which inspires others, which shows others a new way of being, which can bring comfort to the world. There's so many different purposes for different people. Some people have come here to discover certain truths, and but it is always in the just being. It's not that I have to do, because when you come to that place of quieting your mind and you're just being, whatever you do is going to be aligned with that, with your nature, with whatever naturally is flowing through you is what you're channeling, right? It's not something like, I need to go out and find something to channel through me. Let me go and connect to, well, you are connected already to whatever wants to flow through you. All you have to do is purify and get out of the way. Get the ego self out of the way. Quit the self-importance. You quit. See, it's a paradox, because you are all important, but you have to remove your self-importance and your ego self-importance. Like, I'm going to make this happen for attention, or for this. Oh, look at me, I'm so great. That those kinds of thoughts disrupt and stop whatever flow, because then you think it's you and you think that you have to produce it. And then you can get some results from that, but it's going to be a constant work and having to prove it and finding things and uncovering it and thinking about it in force. Whereas when you just get out of the way and know that whatever is divine is flowing through you anyway, there's no effort in it, because it is of who you are. It is your essence. It is what you are. It is what you were meant to be. And that will naturally flow through you when you get out of the way. And providence will come from that, because you are the only one that ever was and ever will be in the universe. And you are unique, and there is a need for you in the universe, and that is of value. And when you understand that that is of value, then it is a give and take. There is because if you do not know your value and you're just constantly giving, then you're depleting yourself. And so when you know your value and you connect to that divine source energy, there is a flow that is a give and take, right? So when you give energy, you get energy back. Money is energy. So it is giving something of value for something of value, giving something of value for something of value. When you give something away and you do not value it, the world will not value it. And I can tell you with people that work with me that that when and something that I have learned through my guides is that if people are willing to pay for it, they value it and then they do the work with it. Whereas if it's just a given, and I'm not saying that you don't give your gift, you give your gift where you can give your gift or where it needs to be given. But when there is that exchange of value in the world, then you are more than then your gift is better received, I should say. And side note, and so if the question is if you are channeling right now. The question is if you're getting in the way of it. If you're getting in the way of it, then you're altering your source that is flowing through you. You're altering it in through your filter, through your avatar, which is off. So that light, that pure light that is flowing through you is getting tainted in ways and maybe coming out as mixed messages. When you are pure and you purify yourself, and you trust that whatever is flowing through you is flowing through you in the most pure of ways, then your light is very sharp and it is received very clearly because your message is very clear and what you are is very clear. So, coming back to it, your self work is the most important work that you can do. And your self work is always within the ego. Your higher self doesn't need work. Your higher self is connected to the divine. There's no fixing there. It is getting your ego self getting the reins on your ego self, taking back control over your avatar. Because when you came in as a pure slate, you were divine, and you were sitting in this body, a clean slate, completely divine. It's what happened on the way that formed the ego self. The ego self conformed and contorted into whatever it is now. And when you straighten it out, think of it like brushing tangles out of something. When you straighten it out and you align it back with God, with your purest essence, then everything that flows through you is pure and true. And you don't have to watch your words anymore. You don't have to watch your thoughts anymore because you've already done the work. And that's why I keep saying the most important work that you can do is your self work. All the rest will happen on its own. You will be provided for. You are of value. Otherwise, you could not and would not exist. So I am sending you so much love and so much strength for this path, and just know that you are great and know your greatness. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one, my contact information is below in my website. I am sending you so much love. Thank you.